This is Valley View News.
Tensions are still high between the Los Angeles Times and many LA teachers. Celebrity chefs cook up a fundraiser to benefit some needy children. And gay activists in the Los Angeles area rally to raise funds for undocumented students.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Clemisha McDaniel.
And I'm Sarah Van Horn. The United States has issued a travel alert for Americans traveling to Europe. The State Department is concerned that terrorist groups could be planning attacks in crowded tourist places. Officials believe Al-Qaeda or other groups could attack American tourists. This is similar to when extremists attacked tourists in high-traffic areas in Mumbai 2 years ago. Officials say they don't exactly know what to watch out for.
We're not hearing that there's any specific information in there about targets, locations, timing, or any really valuable advice to Americans about what they can do.
But the State Department does have a few tips for those planning to travel abroad. They say to avoid obvious tourist places, don't take vehicles that aren't clearly labeled as taxi, and don't meet strangers in hotel rooms or unknown locations. Officials say the advisory is not meant to discourage travel. They do hope it will encourage people to take common sense precautions.
A Los Angeles Times database and the subsequent death of a teacher have raised questions about teacher evaluations. Rachel DeLeon brings us more from the newsroom.
No sooner had the newspaper posted teacher scores than the educators and their supporters called it a violation of teachers' rights. And they sharply criticized Times writers Jason Song and Jason Felch. The apparent suicide of a Los Angeles Unified School District teacher has only heightened tensions, and educators are demanding that the Times retract the database.
Union representatives and other educators say the newspaper violated teachers' rights by posting their scores onto their website.
On August 29th, the Los Angeles Times released a database with roughly 6,000 LAUSD teachers' names on it. If you're looking for a specific teacher or school, all you have to do is type in their name into the database on their website. Schools and teachers are rated least effective to most effective.
One of the names on that database was Rigoberta Ruelas, a 5th grade teacher at Miramont Elementary. Ruelas reportedly committed suicide after the release of his scores, which gave him a rating of less effective. The Times created these ratings based on value-added analysis, which tracks the progress of individual students' test scores. The difference in scores from one year to the next is the value given to teachers. LA Times writer Jason Song says he and his colleague discussed with his legal team before publishing the database and made efforts to warn that experts say value added should only be 50% of a teacher's grade and not more. Song and his colleague Jason Felch made these comments before the death of Rigoberta Ruelas. The results of the Times analysis are not a complete measure of a teacher by any means.
We thought if we gave our readers that kind of context with our stories and with the information we put in our database, that they would be smart enough to take the database and use it in whatever way that they saw fit.
United Teachers Los Angeles President A.J. Duffy says standardized tests simply make students better test takers and aren't any way to measure a teacher's performance.
This test is not used to graduate. This test is not used to get into college. And any teacher will tell you that there are X number of kids that simply bubble in and they're done because there's no accountability.
Pam Richmond is a parent of 2 LAUSD children and says she's been fortunate enough to have never dealt with a low-performing teacher. She says she volunteers at the school at least 15 hours a week. That's how she observes her children's teachers.
I encourage every parent to do that because you don't know what's going on until you're there. And to get one report one day that something's wrong, unless you know the whole picture, it's just not an accurate representation.
LAUSD board members have addressed the evaluation issue and in the spring of '09 created a task force to begin developing a proposal for a new system. In September, the board presented a proposal that would overhaul the current process and require administrators to objectively observe teachers in the classroom. The proposal was passed and will be sent to bargaining unions to negotiate its requirements.
Board members made it clear that they would be including value-added analysis in their evaluations, but will not be using the Times database as one of their tools. Back to you, Clemisha.
Keeping kids safe at school is every parent's concern, and for a father in Oklahoma, it starts with putting an end to bullying. Kirk Smalley is on a mission. Smalley hopes to raise awareness at all school levels of the dangers of bullying.
Have to make a difference. I promised my son on Father's Day this year I'd stop this from happening to another child.
Smalley's son Ty struggled with the bully pushing him around until one day when Ty pushed back, but Ty's actions got him suspended from school. For Ty, it was too much. On that day last May, the 11-year-old took his own life.
I was responsible for my son's safety.
Kevin Jennings was appointed by President Obama to keep his kids safe at school. He organized the nation's first ever bullying conference.
I think that it's taken us a long time to develop a bullying problem, and it's going to take us some time to solve it.
There are no federal regulations regarding bullying in schools, but Kirk Smalley is working to make it a crime. It's why he holds visuals like this one at the Oklahoma State House. His goal is to find a solution.
You want to learn what bullying and suicide is all about, you talk to the people directly who it affects the most.
Previously owned homes in the U.S. sold more than expected in August and reached a 4-month high. The National Association of Realtors says its pending home sales index increased just over 4% in July. It was the second straight month of gains for the index. This is an increase from last year's pending home sales, which were down 20%.
California welfare recipients have spent millions of dollars at out-of-state locations, including Las Vegas and Hawaii. An LA Times investigation found that more than $69 million in cash benefits have been spent at hotels, shops, and ATMs from January 2007 through May 2010. Las Vegas was the largest recipient, receiving nearly $12 million. There are no rules preventing those on welfare from going out of state. Investigators say it's difficult to distinguish between travel that is necessary and travel that is lavish.
With recent heat waves sweeping through Los Angeles, many residents are preparing for fire season. Valley View's Jessica Green has a story.
Los Angeles residents are very familiar with wildfires. Last year's station fire in Angeles National Forest forced thousands of evacuations and threatened thousands of structures. The fire began on August 26, 2009, and burned more than 160,000 acres. The station fire destroyed dozens of homes and was the largest wildfire in Los Angeles County in over 100 years. The fire killed 2 Los Angeles County firefighters. Now, a year later, I revisited the site of the station fire. I spoke with homeowner Giseria Santos about the effects the fire had on her family and what she plans to do if there is another wildfire.
We take all our important papers, pictures, and documents, and if we have time to get anything else, we do that. And the other thing that's changed is our dog sleeps in a carrier now.
With recent heat waves causing temperatures to reach up to 113 degrees in parts of Los Angeles, it is important that residents are aware and prepared for more wildfires.
Fires cause more deaths than any other type of natural disaster. Officials say that it is important to have a well-planned escape route and working smoke detectors. Keep excess brush clear. And if you were told to evacuate, do so immediately. In Lakeview Terrace, I'm Jessica Green, Valley View News.
A city in North Carolina remains flooded after powerful storms hit the town. Windsor's downtown area was evacuated along with more than 40 nursing home residents. So far, the storm is being blamed for 6 deaths in North Carolina.